Hey, Cine Critics! Welcome back to the channel, the place where we break down the latest trailers, predict their IMDb scores before anyone else dares, and sometimes we even call it spot on. Today we're taking a nostalgic yet hilarious ride into the world of rock and roll mockumentary madness with the upcoming sequel, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Yes, you heard that right. After nearly 4 decades, the loudest band in rock history is back to melt our faces, make us laugh, and prove once again that this one goes to 11. The big question is, can lightning strike twice after such an iconic original? Well, we're predicting this one lands at a solid 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Not quite the legendary 7.9 of the original This Is Spinal Tap, but still a respectable encore performance. So, buckle up. Here's why we think The End Continues will be more than just a nostalgia trip, and why it could actually be one of the funniest revivals of the decade. Background and legacy. Let's start with the obvious. The original 1984 This Is Spinal Tap, directed by Rob Reiner, it wasn't just a movie, it was a phenomenon. The mockumentary format was still fresh at the time, and the film absolutely nailed the absurdity of rock star egos, stage antics, and the over-the-top culture of 80s metal bands. It gave us iconic quotes like, "It's such a fine line between stupid and clever," and, of course, the legendary amp that goes to 11. The movie wasn't just funny, it became the Bible of parody for anyone who wanted to poke fun at fame, music, or just the ridiculousness of human behavior. Bands like Metallica, Aerosmith, and even the Rolling Stones admitted that Spinal Tap got uncomfortably close to reality. That's how spot on it was. So bringing back a film like this nearly 40 years later, it's a massive challenge. Why we rate this? A 7.2. Now let's break down exactly why we're calling it a 7.2. Reason 1, the original team returns. The sequel is in good hands. Rob Reiner is back in the director's chair, and Christopher Guest and Michael McKean are back as writers alongside him. These guys aren't just attached in name, they are the original brains that created Spinal Tap's absurd world. With their signature deadpan humor and razor-sharp satire, there's every reason to believe the magic can still work in 2025. Reason 2, reviving the mockumentary genre. Mockumentaries have been underused in mainstream cinema in recent years. Sure, we've seen it thrive in TV shows like The Office and What We Do in the Shadows, but the big screen hasn't had a major mockumentary in years. Spinal Tap 2 could reignite this style of comedy, bringing it back into pop culture. And trust me, audiences are hungry for something that feels different from the flood of superhero movies and remakes. Reason 3, original band members, back on stage. Yep, Nigel Tufnell, David St. Hubbins, and Derek Smalls are strapping on their guitars and basses once again. The sight of these aging rockers, still believing they're gods of the stage, is comedy gold on its own. Watching them wobble around with arthritis while still trying to deliver that rock star swagger, that's a recipe for nonstop laughs. Reason 4, trailer delivers the right tone. The trailer nails it. It captures the essence of an 80s rock band now old, wrinkled, and still as delusional as ever. There are glimpses of their ridiculous stage sets collapsing, their constant arguing over creative direction, and of course the classic Spinal Tap ego trips. But beneath it all, the humor is tasteful. It's not just cheap old man jokes. It feels like a continuation of the characters we loved, aged but unchanged in spirit. Reason 5, new faces joining the madness. The cast is getting a boost with some fresh talent. Brad Williams, one of the most exciting comedians of the last decade, joins the lineup, and from what we've seen, he's going to fit perfectly into the Spinal Tap world. There's also talk of some legendary musicians making cameo appearances, which could add that star power and keep audiences buzzing long after the credits roll. Our take on the humor and themes. So what makes Spinal Tap 2 different from just another sequel? It's the themes. The first movie was about the absurdity of rock fame at its peak. This sequel is about aging, legacy, and the refusal to let go of past glory. It's relatable, not just for musicians, but but for anyone who's ever struggled with the idea of moving on from their prime years. And when you mix that existential dread with overblown amps, exploding stage props, and lyrics that don't make sense, you get comedy gold. It's also going to poke fun at the modern music industry, streaming platforms, TikTok fame, hologram concerts. You can bet Spinal Tap is going to clash with all of it. Imagine these guys trying to live stream a concert and failing miserably. That's exactly the kind of ridiculous yet real-world humor this sequel is primed to deliver. Our prediction and verdict. So, will it live up to the original? Probably not. This is Spinal Tap is lightning in a bottle, impossible to fully replicate. But that doesn't mean the sequel can't be hilarious, heartwarming, and wildly entertaining in its own right. We predict this one will land at 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb. That's not a failure. That's a win. It means it's not just a cash grab sequel, but a film that stands on its own with enough laughs, enough nostalgia, and enough fresh ideas to keep audiences invested. Bottom line, this movie is going to be a near hit. Not a classic, but definitely one worth watching, especially if you've got a love for music, comedy, or just pure absurdity. Closing. So what do you think? Is Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, going to shred its way into our hearts? Or will it fall flat trying to chase its own legend? Drop your predictions in the comments below, because we'll definitely be revisiting this one after release to see who was right. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more movie predictions, and of course, keep your amps at 11. This is the Cine Critic, signing off.